Hello everybody, it's Tom from PizzaWars.net. Usually here with a pizza review, but today we're going to do something a little bit different. We actually like to make a lot of our pizza in the house. So today I'm going to show you a basic pizza dough recipe that we like to use. And for the ingredients, you're going to need a pack of active dry yeast, a tablespoon of sugar, 1 1/4 cups of warm water, a teaspoon of olive oil, a teaspoon of salt, and 3 1/2 cups of flour. This recipe makes probably about 2 10-inch pizzas or so, depending on the thickness of your dough that you want. Before you start with anything, you want to activate your yeast. You're going to take your 1 1/4 cups of water and put your yeast in there and mix it up so you start to get the foam on top. That way you know it's activated and it's actually still a live yeast. Sometimes your yeast will be dead, and if it doesn't start foaming, then it's no good. Next we're going to add in our tablespoon of sugar to the mixing bowl. Then we'll put a teaspoon of salt in there. At that stage, I just mix up the sugar and the salt, just so it's, not all the salt on top or not all the sugar, vice versa. Next, you're going to add in your 3 1/2 cups of flour. So get in our 3 1/2 cups of flour here. You want to make sure they're level scoops, otherwise when you put in the water and all that, your dough is going to be a little dry, which really isn't a big deal. It'll hinder the taste a little bit because you'll have to add a little extra flour. Otherwise your dough is going to be really sticky, which is something you don't want because it's not very easy to work with then. So then we got our 3 1/2 cups of flour in there. Once we get to that stage, I also again just kind of mix it up. Got the salt, sugar, and the flour in there. Just kind of mix it up. And then next, you want to add in your 1 1/4 cup of water that already has your yeast in there. So we'll add that in. I always put just a little splash of water in after that, just because there's always that little yeast residue sitting at the bottom. So I just kind of splash it with water just to get the rest of that out. Then we're going to mix it for about 3 minutes. And then I'm going to add the oil in after that. Alright, so we're back. We've had the dough mixing, which had the sugar, salt, flour, and water. And I usually let it mix for a couple minutes. Now I have my tablespoon of olive oil, and I'm just going to add right into the bowl here. If you can see, it still looks a little dry, as in all the flour hasn't really stuck together yet. The olive oil should take care of the rest of that. Alright, so here we are back with our dough. Overall mixing time want to be about 10 minutes. So as I said, when your dough is done mixing, you pretty much just want to have one clump of pizza dough. And if you have about the right amount of water or anything, there's really no residue, no flour that didn't get mixed or anything like that. The dough should be nice and soft. And with this recipe, it's a recipe that you just leave sit out and cover it. Here we are back with our pizza dough. It's been a while. Our dough has risen and pretty much doubled in size, if you can see that. And what we're going to do now is make pizza. So we're going to take all the dough out of the dough bowl here. Got all of our ingredients. And we're going to cut this dough ball in half. So basically what I do is I just put the clump there, kind of cut it in half. And then you kind of want to shape it back into a little bit of a circular motion here. So you have it, and put the other one a little circular because of course most pizzas are circular. So alright, so now you got your dough there. Kind of just want to take your fingers, keep pushing down on it. You can use a dough roller if you want. I choose not to. Kind of push down on it all so you can get all the extra air out of it. And go up through the middle and then kind of back out around the sides. I want to get it so it's about even. There's your dough. I kind of pick it up like this and then just continue stretching it a little bit. Dough's pretty pliable, so you can shape it out to your circle. Now I always, once I get it to what the shape and everything that I want, I put it on a pizza peel. And you want to dust the pizza peel with either cornmeal, or you can put some extra flour on there as well. So we got the pizza peel here, and put a light dusting of cornmeal on there. This is so you can slide the pizza off, because I cook it on a pizza stone that I've had. I cooked mine at about 450, so I turned my oven on about 20 minutes ago, somewhere in there. I get the pizza stone nice and warmed up, and you want to put the pizza on the peel, form it up again. So you have your nice little circular pizza there. What I do after that is just take a fork and I dock it. This is just to prevent some air bubbles from when it's cooking in the oven. So once it's docked, you can start to go ahead and put your sauce on there. Today we are going to make a barbecue chicken pizza. So for our sauce, we're going to use barbecue sauce. A decent amount on there. I'm going to take a spoon and sauce it out. Only about a quarter of an inch or so, for so you got a crust. So try and get the sauces almost as even as possible there. Next you're going to want to put your cheese, which we're going to use mozzarella, provolone, and some Swiss. So cheese it up. You want to cover everything as much as you can. Then we have our chicken we already had cooked up and I diced up. So we're going to put that on. So now we have cheese and our chicken. And I also have some nice fresh ball of mozzarella here that I'm going to chop up and put on top of it. So a nice fresh ball of mozzarella. And fresh mozzarella, I gotta say, is the best to have on top of your pizza. Just kind of chop it up, break it up. Now, after I do all that, I always choose to put some fresh basil on there because I think, me personally, just personal preference, I think when it's cooked on there, it gives a extremely good taste. So we got some fresh basil here. We'll just, pull apart and put on there. Alright, after that we are going to cook it in the oven. Like I said, we do ours at 450. We use a pizza stone. And you want to cook it for about 10 minutes, 10 to 11, 12 minutes, somewhere in there. Kind of gets, once it gets to that point, it gets your preference of how you like your pizza, if it's well done or not. So, in about 10 minutes or so, we'll be back. And we will check out the final bake of this. Alright, so here we are. It's been about 10 minutes. I'm going to pull the pizza out. And here we have the finished barbecue chicken pizza. It's got barbecue sauce, Swiss mozzarella and provolone cheese, and of course chicken, and we have a nice homemade pizza dough. So let's cut this up and see how it tastes. When you're cooking your dough at home, you want to make sure your crust is nice and golden brown. Of course, the cheese all melted and toasted up. And if you want to see the underside of the bake there, it's got a pretty nice browning to it. So let's cut this up and see how it tastes. Good way to tell if you got a good bake, when you're cutting your pizza, you can hear that nice crunch. Alright, so there you have it. That's what we're having today. Fresh homemade barbecue chicken pizza. Alright, well thanks for tuning in. We'll be back with some pizza reviews soon. Once again, thanks for your support and have a great day.